Hello everybody, this is the third part of the first round of the Reread, Rewrite or Burn Battle Royale. So what are the rules? I had two more videos in the past. Technically I recorded them an hour ago or so. That's why I still wear the same clothes. I have the same cup. Still drinking the coffee. It's cold by now, but there's nothing wrong with that. And what's the rules? I have taken the books I've read this year. I have ranked them in every pool of this game. I take 3 of them. I assign them. One of them is Reread, the other is Rewrite, the third is a Burn. And after the round ends, I'll put all the reads back in the list to get the champion of this year. So that's the final pool. We'll do 5 pools and get done. We'll have 16 books left. And already we have our 3 contestants for this round. We have The Night in the Lost of October by Richard Lehman, we have The Golem's Eye by Jonathan Stroud, and The Bad Place by Dean Koontz. Interesting. So, I enjoyed all 3 of these books. I had a review for Night of the Lost of October by Richard Lehman. I'll leave the video below because in case you didn't saw this video the first time. Last video I had a link to the same video about the other Lehman book in the collection, No Sanctuary. The Golem's Eye is the second of the Bartimaeus series. It's a young adult novel, young adult trilogy about a boy magician who has summoned a genie, Bartimaeus. I can't recall. And they're very fun. They kind of remind me of Terry Pratchett, the main narrator. Bartimaeus is hilarious. I really enjoyed the first book in this series. The Ptolemy Stone, I think, was the Ptolemy Stone. I suck at this. The Amulet of Samarkand is the first book in the series. I really enjoyed that one. This second one, The Golem's Eye, had a bit less of Bartimaeus for my taste, but it also introduced Cat, which was an interesting character, and also gave more info about the common folk in this world, in this Great Britain, where magicians rule everything. And it was sort of fun, I guess. And The Bad Place by Dean Koontz. Here's the fun part with Dean Koontz. I hate his tropes. I really hate what Dean Koontz always does about having the squeaky clean couple of heroes and the violent, degenerate villains, and everything falling into place, everything being so clear-cut, and having some scientific explanation for everything. And there's always this person who has special powers, but also his symbol. You have simple people with amazing cognitive powers, and there are some tropes. Really, if you play bingo with the tropes I hate, a Dean Koontz novel hits everything. However, more often than not, I like his novels because he's an awesome writer. And The Bad Place was very nasty for Dean Koontz. I mean, this novel hit me really hard. It's a story about a couple of detectives who try to help a person who loses his memory. He appears and disappears, and he has no recollection of how he finds himself in different places. And it was really interesting. Now the Reread, Rewrite, and Burn. Which is which? That's tough. I think that Richard Lehman is a very easy rewrite because his Night in the Lost of October was a good book. Okay, it was decent, but I think that I'm always peeved by how he's using very short sentences to describe stuff, and it really drags. And I will go back and chop those simple sentences, meld them together, and guess I'll rewrite this one. Which would I read now? The Bad Place or The Golem's Eye? Well, most often than not, I don't read thrillers because I know what's happening next, so it's a bit of a tedious job to reread this. But at the same time, the Golem Sigh was not as fun as the first one. I mean, I would read the first one, but not this one. You know what? Let's burn Din Kuntz. I don't like his tropes, and it was a good book, but I've burned worse in this round. I've burned better in this round. So we have bad place. Gets in a very bad place in the burning pile. The Legends of October will be rewritten to simplify it, and the Golem Sigh is going to be reread. And wow, I got 3 books I haven't read, even though we get some overlap sometimes, especially as the pool diminishes. Because if you have any suggestion for the formulas to fix that, go ahead, but I really doubt we can do that in Excel. So we have Red Dragon by Thomas Harris, which is a legendary novel, and also the source material for an amazing movie, Manhunter. The first appearance of Hannibal Lecter. I wasn't impressed though. I think this book has aged at this point. Really. We have The Cork of Dork by Chet Ramo, which is it's a contemporary story about a dwarf who has written a book on his love for watching the stars, and he says his life story, his mother's life story, the woman he loved as a teenager he has lost, and it was emotional, I'll have to say, even though nowadays, it was in the early 90s, nowadays you call it problematic, I guess. And we have Legend by Dave Gemmell, which was, I really have to do a video about this one because it's both great and not good at the same time. I wouldn't say to think about Legend. Really. I wouldn't say to think about any of those books, to be honest. I might be tempted to tighten a bit of Red Dragon. Go back and make it closer to more modern thrillers, more tightly paced, I guess. So Red Dragon gets a rewrite, Legend gets a reread because... no, wait a minute, what about? Alright, I think Legend gets the rewrite because it's an amazing story. But the writing is so-so. It's amazing. The characters, the plot, the main character Dras is awesome. It's really epic. But I think this novel could use a bit of rewriting in places. It wasn't great. I think I would reread The Cork of Dork. It's a typo. It's The Dork of Cork. I had to read this one because it was really emotional and I liked it. And I'll just, I've read Red Dragon. I would rather rewatch Manhunter than read this one. Obviously, you can see a pattern here. I don't read thrillers because I've gotten the story. I find no reason to go back there if I know who the killer is. I think the reason I didn't enjoy Red Dragon much, it was because I have seen the movie. So there was nothing new. I mean, okay, there was Hannibal Lecter, but we have our fill of Hannibal all those years. And let me do some cleaning up of the list. Alright. Now we have The HoloLands by Michael Moorcock. It's the second book in his Dances at the End of Time series. I have read the first 2 books. It's a time travel comedy. It kind of reminded me of Douglas Adams. The Night of the Seventh Darkness by Daniel... let me lessen myself so you can have a better picture. Night of Seventh Darkness by Daniel Instrument. It's a voodoo crime thriller which started strong, and the second half there was jumping all over the place, having the plot leap all over. It changed the scope from a crime story to a political thriller, a spy thriller. and I was not impressed by it. And The Sleeping Doll by Jeffrey Deaver is another serial killer thriller that I was not very fond of, because I was very familiar, like, was just impressed. I'm not. I should probably read less thrillers in 2020, because I'm turning to be not a big fan of the genre. So, what gets what? I think that Night of the Seventh Darkness is very well written, but the plot is all over the place. It's not good, so that gets the burn. Really, I wouldn't be able to salvage it, assuming I was a good writer. And the writing is not bad. The plot is off in this one. I would probably reread The HoloLands because it was fun. And I'll probably have to go and read the third part of this trilogy, so I'll have a review in this channel eventually about it. And I guess Sleeping Doll gets a nice rewriting. Not sure what I will do with that, because it's about the tropes. I don't like the tropes. And we get the next three books of this round. Darkness Weaves by Karl Edward Wagner. In case you're not familiar with him, he's an acclaimed fantasy author. He is well known for his Kane books, and this is one of them. It's a Kane book. Plagueborn by Mitchell Luthi. That's another arc I've gotten. It's a trilogy, grimdark trilogy. Actually, it's the first two books of a trilogy plus a novella, and we'll get to that because I think this one will get a rewrite. And Another Hit by Michael Moorcock. That's the first in the Dancers book, and I've screwed up. Okay, the Alien Hit gets the reread, definitely. It was a fun book. I would seriously do a lot of work with Plagueborn. It's not that the writing is bad, I just didn't like the way three books were put together. The box set starts with The Black Hussar, which is a prequel that is about a battle that happened in the author's world, and it's mentioned in the second book. And there is little world building, little explanation when it starts, so you're thrown blind into novella. You don't quite understand what's happening, and at the same time there's little info about the context. You'll get it once you reach the third book of this box set, and that's not good in my opinion. I think this box set should have started with the first book of the trilogy, The Ritual. And The Ritual was also very thin. It had very few information about the world building. This came halfway through the second book. I think the second book is Plagueborn. The Zealot is the second book. So it was interesting. It's a grimdark book. It's about a mercenary and a noble lady who go out and try to find out why there is a plague plaguing the kingdom. Of course, what would a plague do if not plaguing stuff? It was bad. It was very bad. And they go out, they discover a witch hunter who has captured a witch, and they save her. And then they go out and try to find the source of the plague. And of course, the second book ends in a cliffhanger. It's a fun read, but I would definitely move stuff around and put some more information for the world earlier on. Because, okay, it might have slowed the pace, but it's an interesting world, and really liked it. It was a good book in my book. And what was up? Oh yes, I'm very sorry to do that, but I would burn Karl Edward Wagner, and that's the same. And I can see downvotes coming this way because I really love some of his short stories. But this book was written too much like a series of short stories. I mean, there were some very long scenes with things not happening and long descriptions of stuff, and then we're jabbing to other scenes. It was like a lot of short stories tied together by an overarching plot. The same overarching plot, really. I was not impressed with this novel. and I'll try reading another of the Kane novels, but I think that his short fiction was much stronger, so I would suggest you go for his collections of Kane first. At least that's what I did. So let's do some tidying up, because at this point we're getting seriously getting the same results over and over again. Alright, we have, oh come on, the lovers, Dimitri and Dimitri, of course, and the visitor. Let's just do that, because this is going to be very oh really, that's how it's fixed. Okay, so John Connolly's The Lovers is getting a free pass. Yay, Johnny boy, and you could probably get a pass with the books that were left. So we have The Visitor / Running Blood by Lee Child. That's another of the Jack Reacher books. This is the 4th book in the series. However, as far as I know, the Jack Reacher books, did I say Jack Reacher or Charlie Parker? It's Jack Reacher either way. Most of the Jack Reacher books can be read out of order, because there's no continuation, except for this one, because Axel continues after the 3rd book with Jack Reacher in a committed relationship from the previous book, and he's approached by the FBI. He is coerced into helping them find the killer of former military officers, women, who had accused people in their career in the army for sexual harassment, and they're getting mysteriously killed. And by page 100, I had found out who the killer was and how that killer made it, even though there were some red herrings, some stuff happening around, some trickery to keep me in check. And yes, Lee Child is fun, and he always makes sure that there will be the answer early on. There is always foreshadowing, and it's not very well hidden foreshadowing, but his novels are fun, really. The Lee Child novels, and this one was good. I mean, I have a headcanon for Lee Child books. I have the headcanon that Jack Reacher, the protagonist, is on the spectrum. And it's always fun to read him, because he's very odd and unrelatable, because the idea is that he has spent his entire life in the army, and he's retired, and he's working across America. He has no obligation, nothing constant. He just has a toothbrush and nothing else. I mean, every time his clothes get dirty, he just buys new clothes and throws them, because he cannot wash his clothes. And that's fun. That's a fun read, because he's very old. He's very smart, of course. He can one punch kill people, because he's huge. That's why Tom Cruise was playing him in the movies. But yes, it's books you can get on a trip. I mean, you have a trip in an airplane, or by bus or train. So you go to the bookstore in the airport or the train station, you buy it, Lee Child novel, you read this on your way there, and when you're done, you throw it, so that gets a burn. When there is a Lee Child book in the pile, they get a burn, because they're disposable, and that's great with them, really, the disposability. So we have You Should Have Left and Dimitri. Dimitri by Jenny Cohen is a book that is totally unknown. I got it in used bookstore because I thought the cover was interesting. It looked like a horror novel, and it was one of the surprises of this year, because it was really good. It was a gem in the rough. I picked it up. It's a story about a psychology teacher who hypnotizes a student, actually a student's boyfriend, and he regresses and he channels Dimitri, which is a prince of Russia that was murdered. And we have the last week of his murder, as he is channeled by the protagonist's boyfriend. And at some point you start to think that what will happen if Dimitri gets killed while he's linked to my boyfriend. That's really thrilling. That's interesting historical novel. As far as I know, the author only had another book published, which was a shame because I loved this one. It was amazing. I think that gets a reread. And okay, I cannot rewrite Daniel. What's his name? He's German. Daniel Kellman novel because he has an amazing writing style. He should have left as a novella. It's about an author who goes into a mountain resort in the middle of nowhere, and there are ghosts there, weird stuff happen. He is writing a script of a German comedy, so yes, there is a horror element in there. His marriage is strained, his relationship with his wife is not going well, he is having visitors. It was a short read, a fun read, but I should have left it. I didn't enjoy this one. It was too literary. A bit of The Shining, House of Leaves in a more literary style. I'm not sure what I would do in this one, but I would like to be different. So that's why it goes in the rewrite pile, even though I'm not as good a writer, okay? I was expecting something better or different, I guess. So yes, this is the final tally. This is the end of round 1 of this Battle Royale. And I'm not doing another video today. I'll probably try to do some changes to the formula so I don't get duplicate results. Just to finish this video. That's the rereads, rewrites, and burns. And on the next round, we will have those 14 books. And it's very probable that there is no way in hell that. So stay tuned if you want to see the continuation of this Battle Royale of books. Round 2 and stuff. It's going to be 14 books, so we'll have 4 rounds. We have the next round with 14 books, and then we'll have a third round between 6 books, and then a big final of 3 books. Of 2 books, sorry. We'll have 2 books to choose, and that will be interesting. So stay tuned, press the subscribe button, and I'll see you soon. I'm not going to record any other videos today. Thank you for watching.